On graduation day, my family threw a massive party for my brother who dropped out while I sat home alone with my diploma. Later, Dad called just to say, "Sure, you got a degree, but you're still a failure and disappointment in my eyes." I just said, "Thanks for finally saying it out loud." That was 5 years ago. Yesterday, I executed a plan that changed everything. They've sent 15 texts begging, "Please answer. We're sorry. I really wasn't planning to post this, but I've been going nuts just thinking about it and I want to see if anyone else has had anything like this happen." I guess it's not even the worst thing you'll read on here, but it's just so IDK petty. I keep replaying it in my head. So, yeah, I graduated last month, which was weird in itself because they didn't do a big in-person thing, thanks to the usual reasons, and TBH I was fine with it. I'm not exactly the type who loves all the speeches and shaking hands stuff. My family always made a big deal about education first, like since I was a kid, so I figured we'd at least have a small dinner or whatever. Nothing huge, just something. The morning starts off kind of off, like Mom is in the kitchen on her phone a lot, not really talking. Dad's in his usual mood, reading news on his tablet, barely looks up when I come in. My brother Dwayne is, no surprise, still sleeping. He hasn't kept to any normal schedule for years now. He dropped out like 2 years ago, but my parents act like that's just his journey or whatever. He's always been the golden child in obvious ways. Everyone knows it. But I used to think maybe I was just being paranoid. I get it. He's the youngest. He's got that dumb charm thing. He's always joking around, making a mess, leaving stuff everywhere. He's the guy who can get away with anything. And I'm the one who gets lectures about setting an example and all that. But anyway, back to that morning. I keep thinking something's weird. Mom keeps checking her phone, then leaving the room, then coming back and pretending she's just answering a group chat. She says she's going out to get coffee, asks if I want anything, but doesn't really wait for my answer. She leaves, slams the door. Dad says nothing. I scroll through my phone for a bit, try not to get in my head about it. I'm usually pretty chill, but I started wondering if I did something wrong. So, I go to check on Dwayne because I can hear him yelling at someone on his phone from down the hall. He's actually up now, and I hear my name, so I'm like, "WTF?" I walk in and he's like, "Oh, didn't realize you were home." Which is weird. I literally never go anywhere. He's in his boxers sitting on his bed eating leftover pizza and watching some streamer on his laptop. He acts like I'm not even there. I ask if he's doing anything today and he kind of shrugs, says he's got plans, but doesn't say what. Fast forward a bit, I'm in the living room, got my diploma in the mail the day before, so I set it on the table. I figured maybe they'd want to see it or take a pic. Nobody even looks at it. I text my cousin Rebecca. She says, "Congrats." Asks if I'm going to the party later. I'm like, "What party?" She says, "Oh, never mind. Thought you knew." I'm like, "What TF is going on?" I just leave it for a sec, thinking maybe she meant something else. Then Mom comes back with groceries, but it's just bags of snacks, not even stuff we usually eat. She's whispering in the hallway with Dad. I can hear them arguing. Mom says something about timing and not spoiling it. I go to the kitchen. Dad bumps into me and just grunts. Doesn't apologize. I ask what's up. He just says not to worry about it. I go back to my room. Around noon, Mom says she and Dad are heading out for a bit. Something about needing to pick up a gift for Grandma. I kind of laugh and say, "Oh, is Grandma coming over later?" She just nods, but not really looking at me. Dwayne is already gone. Didn't say bye, just slammed the front door. I'm trying not to get in my own head about it, but I'm just sitting there scrolling, playing with my phone, thinking maybe I should just order pizza and watch something dumb. It gets weird when I start getting texts from random relatives like, "Congrats, so proud of you," all that. But nothing from my parents, nothing from Dwayne. I see someone tag me on Facebook, but it's just a meme. Nothing about graduation. I text my aunt, she doesn't reply. I start to get that weird feeling like, why am I left out of whatever's going on? And then I get a pic, full-on group shot, balloons, banner that says, "Congrats, Dwayne." All over it. It's not even subtle. I see my mom, my dad, Dwayne with a cake, a bunch of family, some people from our neighborhood, even the neighbor's kid who broke our mailbox last month. Everyone is smiling, laughing, clearly having a great time. I'm just staring at my phone like, is this for real? Nobody even said anything to me. Not even a, "Hey, we're out or do you want to come?" Nothing. I call my mom. Goes straight to voicemail. Same with Dad. I text Dwayne. He leaves me on read. I text my cousin again, ask her where it is. She just says she thought I was coming, that she didn't know I wasn't invited. I say, never mind. Don't worry about it. I sit there watching the group chat blow up with pics and videos. Nobody even mentions me. I see my diploma on the table right where I left it. I try not to lose it. I just get up and start cleaning the kitchen just to do something. I hear the neighbor's dog barking next door, TV in the background, just regular life stuff. I can't even bring myself to eat anything. Just drink water and scroll through TikTok for like an hour. Later that night, Dad calls. I answer, thinking maybe he's going to explain, maybe apologize, but nope. He just says, "So, You got your degree, but honestly, you're still a disappointment. You don't get it. Dwayne's the one who really matters to this family. Like, not even trying to sugarcoat it. Just straight up. I don't even argue. I just say, thanks for finally saying it out loud. And I hang up. He calls back. I let it ring out. I go back in the kitchen, take my diploma, put it in a drawer. I hear the front door. Mom comes in, doesn't even look at me, just heads to her room, slams the door. I think about saying something, but what's the point? I go to my room, lock the door, text a couple people I trust, just ask them if I'm crazy for being mad. They say no, it's messed up. But what can you do? Family is family. I'm just done. I decide right there, I'm not letting this go. I'm not going to just take it and pretend everything's fine. I don't even care about the party. It's just the way they act like I don't exist, like I'm just whatever. I sit there staring at the wall just thinking. I'm not even sad. I'm just pissed. I'm not letting this slide. That's the night it all changed. I started making plans. So, I wake up the next morning and the first thing I notice is the kitchen. Like, I don't even expect much from these people anymore, but there's sticky crap all over the counter, plates stacked up everywhere, empty chip bags, someone left an open soda can on the floor. I'm honestly not surprised, just annoyed. Nobody says anything about last night, not even a fake sorry. There's a note on the fridge, leftovers in fridge. I don't touch anything, just grab my phone and scroll. I get a text from my cousin Rebecca, just says, "Are you good?" I say, "I'm fine," but then she's asking if I'm coming over later. I just leave her on read. Dwayne shows up around noon, slamming the front door. I'm sitting in the living room. He just barges in, kicks his shoes off, and heads straight for the kitchen. He looks at me, smirks, asks if I had a nice night alone. He laughs. I just stare at him, say nothing. He comes over, tries to smack me on the shoulder like he thinks he's funny. I push his hand away. He says I'm too sensitive. Always have been. I don't even react. He grabs a soda, heads to his room, slams the door. Mom and Dad get home about an hour later. Dad's carrying bags, won't look at me. Mom starts unloading grocery, tells me to move so she can get to the fridge. I don't, so she just sighs and squeezes past. I ask if anyone's going to talk about yesterday. She just says, "What's there to talk about?" Dad doesn't say anything, just drops the bags on the counter and leaves the room. I ask again, louder, if they seriously had a party for Dwayne while I sat here. Mom says it's not what you think. He needed support. It's been a hard year for him. I ask why nobody even told me. She says I'm making a big deal out of nothing, that I should be happy for my brother. I say nothing and go to my room. She slams the fridge door. I start getting messages from cousins and some people I barely talk to asking if I'm mad or whatever. I guess some of them thought I was coming and now they're realizing I wasn't even invited. A couple of them send me screenshots from the family group chat where my mom's posting pics of the party like it's the best thing ever. Someone says, "Where's Coulter?" Nobody answers. I don't reply to anyone. I just scroll through my camera roll looking at the pic of my diploma, then at the party photos. I get more and more pissed off. Later, I'm in the kitchen and Dwayne comes out, grabs a drink, leans against the counter, starts talking about how everyone's so proud of him. He says Mom and Dad really get it, that not everyone's cut out for school, that he's got real plans anyway. I ask what plans. He shrugs, says I wouldn't understand. I tell him he's just lazy and he gets in my face. I shove him back. He calls me a loser, says Dad was right about me. I tell him to shut up. He tries to slap me. I block it and push him away. Mom comes in yelling at both of us to stop it. Dad walks in, tells us both to grow up, then tells me to clean up the mess. I say, I didn't make it. He says, just do it. You're the responsible one. I stand there, not moving. Mom grabs Dwayne by the arm, pulls him to the other room. I hear them whispering. Dad grabs his keys, leaves the house, slams the door. I go upstairs and just start thinking. I realize this isn't new. It's always been like that. Dwayne screws up. I get the lecture. He gets money. I get told to save mine. Every time he messes up, they say he's finding himself. When I do something right, it's nothing. I start looking through old messages and bank statements just because I want to see if I'm losing it or if they really have been using me. And yeah, I find transfers for bills that I know didn't go to anything I use. Cash I gave Mom that she said was for groceries. But I remember seeing her give Dwayne money the same day. I go through my emails and find one from Dad months ago, asking for my card info for a subscription, which I know now is for Dwayne's stuff. I screenshot everything. I end up texting Rebecca and ask her if she ever noticed anything weird about family money stuff. She says honestly, yeah, but she didn't want to get in the middle. She tells me she heard Mom once tell her aunt that I was so responsible he can help out a little more. It's only fair. Dwayne's struggling. I ask her if she still has the message. She says it was just in person, but she remembers it. I thank her and drop it. She says, you don't deserve this. I agree. I start a note stock on my phone, just writing out every time I can remember Dwayne getting bailed out. The time he crashed Dad's car and they told everyone it was a mechanical problem. The time he got caught stealing from a store and Mom paid off the guy who ran the place. The time Dad got mad at me for not backing up my brother when he got in a fight at a party. All of it. I realize I've lost thousands to these people. I put together a spreadsheet of every dollar, every payment, every time I paid for something for the house that Dwayne used up. I'm not even done. I just get more angry. Next day, I tell Mom I need to talk. She's on her phone, barely looks up. I say I know about the money. I want it back. She laughs, says I'm being dramatic. I tell her I'm serious. She says, what are you going to do? Sue your own family? I say maybe. She puts her phone down, gets up in my face, says I need to respect her. I say, Respect goes both ways. She slaps me. I just stare at her. She says, "You're just like your father, always picking fights." I say, "No, I just want what's mine." She walks away, calls Dad. I hear her yelling in the next room. I go to my room, start pulling my stuff together. I text my group chat, tell them I'm moving out. Couple of friends say I can crash for a bit. I start packing. Dwayne comes in, sees what I'm doing, asks if I'm running away. I say, "No, I'm done." He laughs, says, "Whatever, you'll be back." I push past him. He tries to trip me. I shove him against the wall. He yells, calls for Mom. She comes running up, tells me to stop being violent. I tell her to stay out of it. I take what I can, clothes, laptop, box of old stuff, my diploma. I leave the rest. I go downstairs. Dad's walking in the door, sees me with bags, asks where I think I'm going. I tell him I'm done, I'm leaving and I want my money. He laughs, says, "You're not getting a cent. You owe this family everything." I say, "Not anymore." He blocks the door. I push past him. He grabs my arm. I shake him off. He yells something about being ungrateful. I slam the door and leave. I crash with a friend for a few days. Get a little place after that. It's not great, but at least it's mine. I cut off their access to my accounts, change passwords, switch my number on anything joint. I send them a spreadsheet with what they owe me, every dollar, every date. I say, "Don't call me unless it's to pay me back." I block Dwayne everywhere. I block Mom. I leave Dad unblocked just so he can see my messages. I make it clear I'm not playing anymore. I tell a couple cousins what happened. Some believe me, some say I'm exaggerating, some say it's just family stuff. Let it go. I don't care. I don't even care if they believe me. I'm not backing down. Every time I see a transfer or a bill come up, I screenshot it and send it to Dad. I stop paying for anything. Let them deal with the fallout. I watch as the group chat gets quieter. Fewer likes on their pics, fewer comments. Rebecca texts me, says she's proud of me for standing up for myself. I say thanks, but it's not over. I'm not finished yet. I'm not done making them feel it. If they want to treat me like an outsider, fine. But they're about to find out what that really means. Update 2. So, this is where it actually started getting to them. Like, for real, not just the usual guilt trip stuff. Honestly, at first I wasn't even sure if they'd notice because that's how it's always been. But it's wild how fast people start calling when their comfort gets yanked. First clue something was shifting was this random text from Mom early on a Monday. She says, "Call me when you wake up, it's important." I kind of roll my eyes because it's always important when they need something. I ignore it and go about my morning. Just making coffee, checking my phone, scrolling, then my phone keeps buzzing. Dad, then Mom again. Then my cousin Felipe, who never texts unless someone's in the hospital or needs a ride. I finally pick up for Felipe and he says, "Your dad's freaking out about the bills. Is this about that family drama?" I just say, "I'm done paying for other people's mistakes." He goes quiet, says, "Yeah, but it's still family." I hang up. Later, I get a call from the electric company. Apparently, the house payment bounced. I already took my name off, but I guess Dad tried to add me back without asking. I call the company, tell them not to let anyone do that without my consent. The lady is all polite, says she'll flag the account. I text, "Dad, stop using my info." No reply. Next thing, Dwayne is blowing up my phone, which is rare because he usually only texts if he wants something. He says, "Nice move. Now I can't get online for my business stuff." I don't even reply. I hear from Rebecca that he's telling everyone I'm sabotaging him. She texts, says he's just mad he can't mooch anymore. I laugh. I tell her, this isn't even close to over. About 2 days later, Mom shows up at my apartment. I'm not even joking. She starts banging on my door, saying she just wants to talk. I open the door. She pushes past me, stands in the middle of my kitchen like she owns it. She says, "You need to stop this. You're ruining your brother's future. You're making your father look bad." I tell her, "I'm just done paying for stuff that isn't mine." She says, "You're acting like a stranger. This isn't how family acts." I say, "It's not family when everyone's using you." She slaps me. I don't move. She glares and storms out, slamming the door. I sit down, open my laptop, and start going through every account I can think of. Anything with my name, my info, I either lock it down or pull my name off, old streaming accounts, utilities, even some memberships I barely use. I switch my phone number on everything official. I change my bank password. I even go through my credit report looking for anything weird just in case. I start a folder with every screenshot, every weird charge, every time they try to pull me back in. The family group chat is basically a war zone now. Rebecca keeps me updated. Mom is posting stuff like, "Some people forget who raised them." And Dad is throwing shade about ungrateful kids. Dwayne is just spamming memes about betrayal. Felipe chimes in once, says, "Maybe we should hear Coulter's side." Nobody answers him. Then I get a letter from a collections agency. I open it, see it's for a bill at the old house in my name that I never saw. I call, tell them I moved out, send proof. They say they'll look into it, but it might take a while. I text Dad, "Stop using my info or next time I'm going to the cops." He says, "You wouldn't dare. We're family." I reply, "Watch me." No answer. So I get bolder. I email Dad a spreadsheet, every dollar he owes me, every cent Dwayne cost me, every time my info was used without me knowing. I CC Mom. I say, "Pay me back or I go public." I even send it to Rebecca just so someone else has it. The next weekend, I swing by the house just to get the last of my stuff. Dad is in the driveway. He says, "So, you're really doing this?" I say, "You made it pretty clear I don't matter." He says, "You think you're so much better than us?" I say, "I just don't want to be used anymore." He steps in my way. I push past him. He grabs my bag. I yank it back. He shoves me, I shove him off. He says, "You'll regret this, you're not as smart as you think." I say, "We'll see." He slams the door behind me. I grab my stuff, leave, don't look back. Next night, I get a text from Dwayne, just a string of insults. I block him. Rebecca tells me people are starting to talk. Like for real, some of the older relatives are calling mom, asking what's going on. Dad is telling everyone I abandoned them. I send Rebecca my folder of receipts, tell her to show whoever asks. She does, some believe me, some don't. Felipe texts, says, "This is getting ugly." I say, "Didn't have to be." He says, "Families fight, but you're making it worse." I say, "I'm just tired of getting walked all over." Mom starts showing up at my place more. Sometimes with food like that'll fix it. Once she just stands in my doorway crying. I tell her, "Pay me back, stop using my info, maybe we can talk." She just leaves, slamming the door. It's all so stupid, but also it's like the first time I actually feel like I've got some power. It's not even about the money anymore, it's about making them feel what it's like to be ignored, to be treated like an afterthought. Dwayne tries to get me to unblock him, so he sends a message through Rebecca, says, "You're ruining everything, you're jealous." I tell her, "I'm not jealous, I'm just done." Utilities at the house start getting shut off, bills pile up. Dad texts me, says, "You happy now?" I reply, "Not yet. The last straw is this message from Mom, 'You've ruined us, are you happy?'" I don't answer, I just keep gathering everything, getting ready for the final move. The funniest thing is I actually sleep better now, not even mad, just waiting, getting everything lined up. I'm about to hit them where it hurts most, and they have no clue. Next part is where it actually gets good. Final update. So, it's been 5 years since all that graduation day mess in NGL. Every year since I kept waiting for things to just fade out, like maybe they'd get tired, maybe I'd stop caring. That never happened obviously. I was still getting the random texts from my mom. Sometimes a guilt trip, sometimes just a meme about forgiveness. Dad would call once a year, usually after Dwayne did something expensive, and act like nothing ever happened. I blocked and unblocked them so many times it's actually embarrassing. It was always the same cycle. They'd try to rope me back in when they needed something, go radio silent when they didn't. Dwayne tried to hit me up for money every 6 months or so, then talk trash about me to anyone who'd listen when I didn't play along. I heard from Rebecca that the family group chat was just a circus now, half of them on my parents' side, half just tired of the drama, nobody actually fixing anything. I kept my distance, just doing my own thing, stacking up receipts, not because I thought I'd need them but because that's just what you do when you grow up like this I guess. Then like 2 months ago Rebecca sends me a screenshot from some real estate site, says, "Isn't this your parents' house? It's up for auction, bank repossessed, all of it out there in public." I don't even react at first, I just ask her, "Are you sure?" She says, "Yeah." She checked the address, I search for it, see the same thing, auction date, property details, the whole deal. I don't say anything for a while, just keep refreshing the page. I know they have no idea I've seen it. About 2 weeks later, Dad calls from a new number. I ignore it, but then he leaves a voicemail. He sounds tired, way older than I remember, says, "I know we haven't always seen eye to eye, but we need help. The bank is taking the house. Dwayne's out of work, your mom is sick with worry. We just need a little support to get back on our feet." I listened to the message 3 times. First time in years I actually feel nothing, not mad, not sad, just done. Next day mom texts, says, "Please call us, things are bad, we need you." I ignore her too. Dwayne blows up my phone with a string of messages, half mad, half begging, says, "You can't let them take the house, you're cruel, you're supposed to be the smart one." I mute the thread, so here's where I decided to go all in. I call the auction company, ask what it takes to bid. Turns out not as hard as I thought. I get my paperwork together, put in a bid just high enough to win. Didn't even tell Rebecca, kept it quiet. I just wanted to see if I could actually do it. Day of the auction, I show up, watch as a couple of investors try to lowball it, but I keep going. Nobody recognizes me, not even the guy running the thing. I win the bid, I sign the papers, I walk out with the keys and the deed. I wait a few days, finally Dad calls again, says, "We have to be out by the end of the month, can you help us find a place?" Mom is crying in the background, Dwayne yelling. I say, "I bought the house." Silence. Then Dad says, "What?" I say, "Yeah, it's mine now, I'm not helping you stay. You made your choices." Dwayne grabs the phone, says, "You can't do this, you're scum, you're not family." I say, "You never treated me like family." Dad tries to talk over him, says, "You don't mean this, you're just angry." I say, "I'm not angry, I just don't care anymore. They try everything." Mom shows up at my place, bangs on the door, says, "Please just let us stay till we figure it out." I say, "You have 30 days. Dwayne tries to block my car in the driveway, tries to shove me when I get out. I shove him back, he throws his phone at the ground, storms off. Dad just stands there, arms crossed, says, "You'll regret this, you're still a disappointment, degree or not." I say, "At least I'm not homeless because I expected someone else to save me." I give them the legal notice just like anyone else, no special treatment, no more handouts. I don't yell, I don't argue, I just hand them the paperwork and walk away. Mom slams the door on my way out. 30 days go by and they actually leave. I drive by the house and it's empty. No note, nothing left behind except a couple of broken chairs and some trash in the yard. I get a call from Rebecca, she says, "You actually did it." I say, "Yeah." She says, "How do you feel?" I say, "Lighter, I guess." She laughs, says, "You know they're telling everyone you tricked them." I say, "Let them." The next morning I check my phone and there's 15 unread texts, all from Mom, Dad, Dwayne, "Please answer, we're sorry, can we talk?" We need a second chance. You don't understand. It's not what you think. We love you. Just please answer. I don't reply. I just scroll through, screenshot the whole thing, then archive it. I rent the house out to a family I'll never meet. I don't go back. I don't look for closure. I don't tell anyone outside Rebecca and my friends. I see one last Facebook post from mom about losing everything but still having hope. I don't react. So yeah, that's it. 5 years, 1,000 broken promises. And now they finally know what it feels like to be left out, ignored, powerless. I didn't do anything illegal, didn't even yell. I just let them taste what they served me for years. I'm not sorry, not even a little. The wild part is I still get those texts every couple weeks. I just delete them. I'm not their backup plan anymore.